Hi, I'm Andrew Liberale, and it's a pleasure to be with you today. Thanks to Edutech and Terrapin for making this forum possible. Today we'll be discussing the National Vocational Education and Training VET Data Streamlining Initiative and sharing insights into our changing VET sector with its current needs and opportunities. We'll then look at our current efforts to address these via our VDS Extended Proof of Concept showcase and walk you through our plan to productionise and our lessons learned so far. As a digital transformation lead, I work with the New South Wales Department of Education and Skills Reform to establish their digital capabilities. The Education and Skills Reform Group drives innovation, reform and new policy based on analysis and evaluation for the whole education system. ESR delivers critical programs to improve lifelong learning outcomes in early childhood education, K-12 schooling and workforce skills development, including driving the current Skilling for Recovery program to address COVID-19 impacts on the New South Wales economy and the broader skills reform activities. Effective management of challenges within our sector, such as COVID-19, require us to deliver timely consumer information. Our ability to collect, consume and deliver information directly affects our responsiveness as an organisation. Our data capabilities enable us to be informed and to inform others, and for that we need high quality and timely data with contemporary technology. In 2016, the VET Data Streamlining Initiative was identified as one of the 9 initiatives within the Performance Information for VET Roadmap, agreed by Skills Ministers in November 2016. In 2017, work was commenced by the NCVER Group to investigate the needs of the VET sector. Their discovery process brought many voices across the VET sector to the table to understand needs and opportunities, with their final report being delivered in January 2018. The report showed the VET sector had undergone fundamental changes, from a small number of publicly funded institutions to many diverse providers, from state-based regulations to national frameworks, from funding and program-led courses to market-led training, from satisfying management information needs to satisfying consumer information needs. It also showed that VET information management systems do not meet user requirements. VET information is multi-layered and overly complex. VET users were ready for change. The technology existed to meet needs, and there were immediate, medium and long-term actions that could be taken. In 2018, as a result of the NCVER Group findings, the former Commonwealth Department of Education and Training engaged a technology vendor to analyse data collection processes and practices across the VET sector and gather requirements for an extended proof of concept business case. In April 2019, the Assistant Deputy Secretary of Skills and Economic Development agreed to New South Wales participating in the Commonwealth VET Data Streamlining project to deliver the stated objectives and outcomes. In November 2019, the VET Data Streamlining EPOC project was commenced by the Commonwealth Department of Education, Skills and Employment, with a partner group including the National Centre for Vocational Education Research, NCVER, the Department of Innovation and Skills in South Australia, and the Department of Education and Skills Reform in New South Wales. The priority for the project was to engage a technology vendor to commence the EPOC build, and after approaching the market, RXP services were selected. The Commonwealth objective for the VET Data Streamlining EPOC project was to transform current VET data collection processes. This would happen by using secure, cloud-based, centralised, system-to-system data exchanges to collect, validate and deliver VET activity data in near real time. This approach was intended to enable more timely and complete data collection, to utilise a centralised and more efficient approach to data validation, and to deliver better quality data to increase data-driven insights and support consumer information. Better data would also drive future program development, better regulation and policy, and lower the regulatory impact on over 4,000 data providers and registered training organisations nationally. In New South Wales, the objectives of the EPOC project aligned to our own internal findings from 2019. There were several common issues that could be addressed by New South Wales participating in the VET Data Streamlining project. These included consolidation of our own data collection, data validation checks and error reports, reduction of the quantity of data validations, alignment of data validations with NCVER, and replacement of our legacy data platforms. So what do we want to learn through an EPOC project? What we want to learn is what we need to do technically. We also want to understand what the potential security and data privacy issues are early in our process. We want to be able to accurately cost and schedule a production build. We want to demonstrate an optimal technology solution. And we want to create confidence amongst our VET stakeholders that we understand and can deliver a production platform. The basic design of the EPOC is as a central data exchange between all of the key actors in the VET sector. These include registered training organisations, or RTOs, and their student management system providers, or SMSs. These RTOs and SMSs directly manage student activity data for the sector. Other actors include regulatory bodies for student administration and studies, and regulatory bodies for training administration, including NCVER, state training authorities like New South Wales, Commonwealth departments, and reference data providers like training.gov.au, or TGA, and ASQA, which is Australian Skills Quality Authority. The central platform will provide technical capability for improved data collection, data validation via a rules engine, data storage, data extraction, data analytics and reporting, and access management and security services. The EPOC solution must be built to comply with the Government Protective Security Policy Framework and the Australian Government Information Security Manual, which represents best practice privacy protection standards and cover governance, information security, personnel security, and physical security. In New South Wales, we work closely with our RTOs and our SMSs, and we have a pretty good idea on what a day in their life looks like, and they've been very happy to tell us. At a state level, we are looking to utilise the EPOC technology as an investment in our future to provide customer service improvements for RTOs and SMSs who we do business with on a daily basis through complex and high volume data exchanges. Some of the planned benefits that we want to bring to our RTOs is improvement in their overall experience and improve our communications with them, improve data submission processes ensuring student data is only entered once, reduce validation complexity and making processing easier and more efficient, reduce manual handling, consolidate our error messages, and help the RTOs to get paid faster. When we look at our SMSs, the benefits that we want to bring to them include improvements in the RTO data processing and payment processing through their systems, improvement in the financial caps management, improvements in quality assurance and making processes easier and more efficient, reduction in manual handling, reduce errors to manage, and streamline the NCVER reporting submissions. The original EPOC build schedule commenced in May 2020 with 25 two-week sprints planned and scheduled to complete April 2021. The agreed approach was to build via an agile methodology using increments and to base those increments on VET sector key datasets. These datasets are provider dataset, course administration dataset, student dataset, unit enrollment dataset, transcript and analytics, with the implementation and hypercare increment at the end of the program. I thought you may be interested in seeing how the program played out and the lessons that we learned along the way. Once work started, we realised that testing was going to be complex. Our first learning was that testing needed careful planning, resourcing and coordination amongst partners, especially through SIT and UAT testing. As the work progressed, our second learning was that the system needed to cater for changes to the VET information standard, and a new increment was added about halfway through the program. The development and testing was now across 3 streams of work, and that continued to Christmas. We managed to stay on schedule with an increased workload. As the development and testing continued into the new year, we found that it was resource intensive and that our increments were being extended. As we planned to do our evaluation, our third learning was that the RTOs and SMSs would require long lead times to make use of the system and to evaluate. It was only after all increments had been developed that we could perform end-to-end testing, which included near real-time data to our New South Wales test systems. This allowed us to evaluate technical capability in more detail. The schedule was extended by 3 sprints to cater for this. Our fourth learning is the unit enrolment processing is complex and requires many data validations and reference data sets to complete successfully. So the EPOC build part of the project finished early June 2021, with the evaluation continuing until the end of the month. As the EPOC evolved, we all needed to understand which set of cloud-based data services would be used by each of the different groups involved in the project. So each group needed to understand how they would utilise the data services within their own local processes. In the context of the EPOC, we in New South Wales had to ensure that our specific requirements were included in the build. So we divided those into 4 categories. Category 4, the business requirements that we knew were going to be fully solutioned and built in the system. Category 3, that we knew were going to be partially built or solutioned. Category 2, the requirements that we know that we need but weren't going to get built into the system. And Category 1, the larger requirements that we know we hadn't captured yet. So the project team needed to ensure that we had tested Category 3 and Category 4 as part of the testing during the EPOC project. So how did we go with our testing? Well, I'm happy to report that we successfully tested all of our Category 4 requirements, all of our Category 3 requirements. We captured as many Category 2 requirements as possible, and we know we have lots of work to do on the Category 1 for the production system. So in effect, all New South Wales testing was completed successfully as per our original UAT test plan. So what did we actually get out of the system? For data collection, data storage and data validation capabilities, these were tested with the help of RTOs and SMS companies. This is a prototype of the dashboard for data validations which is available through the system, showing the status of loaded RTO data. What it shows us is the validation progress of loaded data, including success and failure rates for validations, a running monthly analysis of data validations, a top 10 rules that are causing most problems for the RTOs, and a breakdown by types of data that are causing problems. From an STA point of view, we can see a breakdown of data validations by RTO. We can see where RTOs are having problems so we can be proactive in helping them address issues, and we can look through historic data to find trends. Once data is validated in the system, insights into student activity within the sector become available. This is a prototype of the dashboard for student activity, which is available through the system. It shows student activity by RTO provider. It breaks down student details by age, gender, language, qualification, location, and employment status. As part of the EPOC evaluation, we wanted to understand how we would realise the benefits from the work that we've done in the EPOC. What we found was that the EPOC is testing technical capability only. Any benefits would be realised in a production version rather than anyone's use of the EPOC as it stands. RTOs and SMSs need time to make it work when we do get into production. That even in production, the full benefits of a centralised VDS system will take time. And the key benefits of the EPOC and what we've done will come from applying the lessons learned to the production build. So what were the project outcomes overall? From a Commonwealth perspective, the project was completed successfully, to budget and to the revised schedule of 28 sprints. In New South Wales, the project was also delivered successfully, and we expended 91% of our planned budget, and this was because we found it hard to find skilled UAT testers during the testing window and during COVID. We utilised 14 resources over an 18-month period. We expended 1,500 days of effort, which is around 12,000 hours. Now that the EPOC project is successfully completed, we turn our attention to productionising the VDS system. In New South Wales, most of our RTOs use a student management system to track student enrolments and activity, but we don't currently utilise the data from these systems. RTOs manually enter student enrolment data directly into our portal or through email, and then replicate this information into their student management systems, leading to duplicate data entry. Data validations for federal and state agencies are currently done separately, with multiple rounds of error reporting and correction. The addition of the central VDS data repository will allow RTOs who use an SMS to directly upload data automatically and in near real time. Those RTOs who do not currently use an SMS will have the opportunity to move to an SMS provider or continue to manually upload files via the VDS portal. VDS will enable a streamlined collection of data from all RTOs. These can then be validated against both federal and state rules at the same time, with consolidated error reporting sent back directly to the RTO for correction. For a state training authority to be able to receive delivery of near real-time data from the VDS system and to process that data, we will require uplifts to current data landing platforms and source systems. The addition of a data warehouse and an uplift of the student activity source systems will provide the business teams with the capabilities to process the new data quickly and effectively. There will be a transition period where some RTOs will migrate to using the new VDS data services, whilst others remain using the current processes until they migrate. So both processes will need to be supported for a period of time. Once migration of all RTOs to the new VDS system is complete, the manual processes and supporting legacy systems can be decommissioned. A key item to note is that there are 5 parties that must uplift their processes and systems at the same time: RTOs, SMS providers, the State Training Authority, the Federal Validations Team, NCVER, and the Commonwealth VDS system. This will take careful coordination. So moving forward, our ability to collect, consume and deliver VET information enables us to be informed and to inform others in the sector. The VET data streamlining production system will provide us high quality and timely data through contemporary technology. The components that we've identified that we need to focus on to deliver these capabilities are a VET information shared data standard, a VDS core system build, an NCVER transformation, an STA transformation at the local state level, student management system provider transformation, registered training organisation RTO transformations, sector legislation and policy, stakeholder communication and change management, and an overarching VDS program management to pull it all together. So what have we learned so far? Some of our key lessons are that planning and coordination of testing is complex, that our VET information standard needs to be integrated and is very important. There is significant effort for RTOs and SMSs to be ready to use the system. Processing within the system will be complex, requiring many data validations and reference data sets that need to operate in near real time. The final schedule may be very different to the plan that we started with. The scope needs to include the data needs of all of the parties. Our risks, issues and decisions must be managed centrally, and that stakeholder management at all levels needs close coordination. Thank you for tuning in. I hope these insights will help you understand more about the VET Data Streamlining Initiative and how this is moving us towards our shared goal of providing world-leading education and training. Thank you.